Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the UKLC. We're getting ready to go into our fourth and final game of the day. This is MNM versus Resolve. There's a lot of really good names on these rosters. This is the one we've been very excited for. I am so excited to see Chad Onika once again versus Bakako as well. This is going to be a good jungle matchup. Aragon versus Kenruto, great top matchup. Vango versus Otter, great mid matchup. And then, yeah, bot lane, but no one cares about bot lane as well.
Well, maybe you don't, but then you look at Yoffa and you think, ooh, Yoffa's been doing good. He's got an 18.3 KDA. That's decent. That's the second highest in the league. And then you realize, on the other side, in the mid lane, if we're talking about KDA as a metric to judge players, Otter currently has a 54 KDA. They have not died. That's with 2 Akali games. That's with being in the top third of players in terms of kill participation too. A couple of these players have come in on real hot streaks. Seeing them against each other is going to be a real treat. What a game we got here.
Alrighty, well, we're into picks and bans as the Karma's going to get denied away. Think this is going to be a pretty standard one. The Tristana as well. Obviously, a bit of a pick towards Vango as well. Is a flexible pick at the moment. So it can be a bit of an interesting one, this one. I'm curious to see what the bans are going to be. Obviously, we saw Gwen get through in the last game and be used to pretty good. It's a pretty good performance, but unfortunately, it kind of fell apart at the last moment. The Akali, again, glad we're not seeing that. The Fresh, again, I'm actually glad we don't see Fresh because I think Fresh is just so hard to punish with. Like, you have to jump on the Fresh because he can't lantern himself. Otherwise, he just lanterns whoever you jump on.
I mean, we've seen some really good Fresh players today, so I like it's fun to see the champion, and at least it's skill expressive as opposed to a couple of other things. A lot of power picks still left available. There's stuff like Donica has played a lot of Rumble, been really good on that. We have stuff like the Viego, which I believe Vango's played too. That is another first pickable champion. It's the Jin Zhao. It gives you, again, that temporary frontline, which, again, we've seen so much from your Lee Sins and all your Gore Drinker champions. Gives Donica the ability to go on the front foot.
Lulu's open. So's Cog. We could see a Cog Lulu game come out. There's the Lulu lock-in. In my head, I was like, oh, the Gwen is open. The Viego's open. The Rumble's still open because the Jin Zhao's been locked in. I was like, ooh, there's a fair few power picks. Totally forgot about the Lulu. Now, Cog was obviously slightly risky just due to the lack of mobility, but Lulu Kaiser's still a fine lane. That's one that we're perfectly happy with.
We have seen a lot of highlight performances from Kaisers. It's been nerfed a lot, and no one really cares. So Otter does play this champion actually in the UKL qualifiers, because again, he qualified for the UKL this split, and then the whole thing with Barrage and Resolve happened in terms of forming together. Just got bumped straight up to the UKLC and has been doing wonders up here too. Does play stuff like the Enchanters of the Karma and the Lulu. Could very much be going there though. FGG, another player of note, has played that champion a couple of times as far as I'm aware. And then the Gwen locked in on the other side. How could we forget about that?
I don't know what the answer is, because we did see, Kaiser typically has a pretty good matchup into the Ezreal, so it's going to be that Kaiser, something we have seen a bit of a surgence of as of late, so they can kind of punish and kill in the lane. Now, Resolve, remember, this Lulu's technically flexible, so they can put it top, they can put it mid, they can also put it bot lane. Probably just looking to pick their jungle up here, keep the Lulu as open flex, and then I'd like to see, them ban away good supports. Things that can pair up well with the Kalista, things like that Blitzcrank that can kind of set up for the kills.
Nautilus, the high pick in this league.
Yep. They do pick themselves up a jungler. It's not the Rumble, though. They go for the Volibear. Now, what are the bans going to be here? Because I do feel like, Blitzcrank, Nautilus, things you really don't want being thrown at you. The Leona as well. There's a lot of powerful supports up right now.
Alistair's very good with Kalista too. I mean, anything that can help you dive through bot is going to be very impactful. I mean, we saw Viperio try and dive bot in their game today with the Thresh, and that was with the Jinx. It's a very different kind of lane, but they were using the Jin Zhao to that effect too. Question is, have Resolve kind of sniffed out this play pattern and have a response ready and willing, ready and appropriate for it? I know I said that FGG has played the Lulu a couple of times before. Not this split. He's played 4 different champions so far, so there's a chance that he's picking up a 5th one today in 5 games. But again, if they think that it's too much of a dive threat on the TV2, they could just pick up a Braum themselves and say, okay, got an Enchanter already somewhere else on the map. Braum's really good at having a kill lane. It's less good with the Kalista, with the Kaiser. Normally, again, you see that flex. When you have something like that, Cogmore, to give you a safer laning phase, and then your team fight can be very good. And Resolve Academy themselves are banning away supports, as you were suggesting.
Well, the Viego and the set are going to get taken away by MNM. Over to the side of Resolve to find their final ban here. see what they're going to lock in. Leona, the Blitzcrank are open. I feel like Leona's technically the safer if you want the kind of engage support. I guess Blitz isn't really an engage support, he just is a pick support, but I feel like Leona's... oh, they didn't ban anything. Oh, I don't know if there's a reason for that. Maybe, okay. My brain farted a little bit there. So they just go straight in for the Jace pickup here. Now MNM. Pick up the litter really in the support pool. Other than the Nautilus and the Fresh taken off the board, they still have a fair few things they can go for here. And it's genuinely interesting to me what they're going to go for. Obviously, going to be looking for a mid laner and a support here. So supports, I mean, the Braum, I kind of forgot about the Braum, but the Braum is there. Does obviously pair up well with the Callista. You can, once that Winter's Bite goes in.
So strong.
Bango special. Sorry, I'm talking about hovers. I'm kind of darting all over the places with my picks, but yeah. Braum passive, great for Callista and lane. Vango special potentially on the board here, and actually going into my girls, the LeBlanc getting locked in for Vango here. This is a very aggressive MNM comp, and I know I keep interrupting you here, but I'm just going to round out with, I wanted to see MNM play aggressive. I wanted to see them punish Resolve, because Resolve are typically played back, they played reserved, and they played, you know, Karma League of Legends, look for later game fighting. MNM, on the other hand, have been go, go, go all the time in this tournament of this split. There we go, that's the word I'm looking for. And they have locked in a comp that can do that. So it's on MNM to try and get themselves a good game going here. As the final lock-in is the Rakan. I'm going to let you take the stage here. What are we liking about this, Amira?
Okay, so I do like the flex of Lulu out of bot lane, because I do think that Braum and Callista just kill you level 1. And one thing that we were mentioning earlier when the Draven was locked in early in the days, Callista loves farming champions. The Rakan is a bit safer. I think there's still a chance we get tagged by a Rakan Q, by a Braum Q rather, early into the game before you get all of your basic abilities available to you, and you just end up dying. I think this is still marginally better than what they had, though. Yeah. Actually looks like Otter is, because his 20 seconds have ticked down, Otter is going to be taking the Jace into the mid lane, into that LeBlanc. I think that's fine. Level 1, you have a very strong burst combo, which means that you often get the first crack at level 2. You have ways to get mid lane priority earlier into the game, get yourself the preferential resets, and the Lulu has been an answer, particularly in the LCS, if I remember it, to that Gwen in the top side. It survives lane, you polymorph them if they get too close, and that can help keep your other carries safe in the team fights, because that's what Lulu does best.
Yeah, absolutely. If I remember right, though, the Braum matchup is good for Rakan, because, you know,
he can't stop your W.
As long as you basically don't hard sprint it in like 1 to 3, or like at least 1 to 2, depending on what you decide to level. You know, Braum puts his shield up. Well, Braum, you jump in onto Braum tags you, and you just jump out before you get yourself locked down. Like, early Eclipse is not going to have enough attack speed to instantly stack the concussive blows. So it should be a relatively good matchup for them in the bot lane. Although I do still feel that the Callista is going to have lane priority versus this Kai'Sa.
Well, you just do. I mean, Callista has just had... Callista has prior over pretty much everyone but Varus, who then just launches the E at them. The slows her attack speed, and she feels sad about life. The danger of Rakan into the Callista is that she just hops out of your W, and you're kind of just stuck in there. Again, if you go too aggressively, too boldly early into the game, things go badly. I don't think they're looking to do that anyway. It's just basically panning the camera down for the first 2 levels and saying, all right, okay, you're going to die 2v2? Okay, you're safe. Right, you're going to be safe for the rest of the game until the team fights come in. I am looking forward to this mid lane high burst matchup. Of course, you've got your main on the table. I was, holding out hope that Otter would maybe dig into the Ahri, but no one's doing that anymore. Got ourselves the Jace, high burst matchup in the mid lane. Still very fun to see.
Well, we're on to the Rift for our final game of our Super Week here at the UKLC. This one is going to be a hypey one. MNM versus Resolve. This is first and second place, effectively going toe to toe. MNM are technically tied, or at least were tied with Viperio until earlier today. If MNM lose this, they will remain tied with Viperio and Bulldog at the end of the day. So Resolve will put themselves one step further ahead than the rest of the teams in the league. Vanguard got himself a kill. Assassin, Mage, LeBlanc in the mid lane. So it should be able to cut through Otter's KDA. See if we can put an end to that one. Anyway, defensive line's been drawn up, and so far, no real action as the sweepers have been picked up by Joppa and Gardonica.
I mean, no one's going to level 1 versus a Braum or a Callista. You don't want to walk into the fog of war. You keep your own defensive lines. If they walk at you, you take the information, you walk out. So actually, both teams, without that Braum being present on the map in a 5-man fan across things, have no shenanigans this early into the game.
In fact, it's actually taking the Ignite in the lane. So typically a lot in competitive LeBlancs, they take the teleport.
Yeah, you see the TP.
But this is, I want to snowball the lane. I want to get kills early and snowball and take over.
What do you mean? Doesn't have the Dark Seal. Oh, Maker, you probably... Yeah, stand behind those minions. Don't get tagged.
Although, they might be looking here. MNM are waiting. No, don't worry. Fox can't hit skill shot. Interestingly enough, it's the Doran's ring for Vango. I feel like a lot of people prefer to take the
Corrupting Potion.
Corrupting Potion in lane, me included on that one. Does give you really, really aggressive trading, basically. Just because you can jump in, Corrupting Pot, you can obviously get the extra damage from Corrupting, but you also get the sustain the Corrupting gives, so you can just play aggressive in lane. But opting for the Dorans, obviously a bit worried about the mana cost from your Distortion early.
Yeah, and we're not seeing the Corrupting Potion coming out from the Jace as well, which is an option. So both going for those Dorans. Items gives you a bit more HP. If it is incredibly high burst before the potion gets to run through, then of course that gives you a slight advantage just because the HP is ready and available. What we see though is Vango having the wave pushed into him by Otter. This is a danger for level 3 because then suddenly you have the chains and that's the gank setup, and Jace doesn't really want to deal with that unless he gets to knock the LeBlanc too far away. And particularly with Jinzo on the board, that chain is going to be very, very deadly. So again, watch to see what these junglers are doing. There you go, chain goes forward.
That's that early trading pattern. Once the Electrocute comes back off cooldown, Vango probably once again just going to jump in onto Otter and continue to trade into him. Gadunuk is actually making his way forward. If a wind becomes lightning here, those chains are back off cooldown as they're coming in. They've got the chains. They've connected the flash. Vango is too slow on the pull though. You have to predict it flash. You just have to flash for that play, man.
Very respectful. And you know what? A couple of years ago, before they changed LeBlanc's tick recognition on whether the chain was in range, that probably still would have gone through, even though that flash was quite late afterwards. Both flashes burned. Otter, though, does have the TP to get back to lane.
Yeah, this is going to be obviously the weakness for Vango to be playing with here, but is able to get a really lovely trade-off onto Otter as soon as he teleports back into the lane. So Vango can just continue to go for the harass. Now Chad Unuka is a sad Unuka because he's been spotted out on this ward and Resolve are just going to play away from him.
Hey, you warned me about the puns earlier. What's this?
We've had Sad and Chad going for a while.
Gosh, yeah.
Chad Unuka's when it goes hard. Sad Unuka's when it goes wrong.
I have to say, the great thing about this matchup for me personally is that, again, casting games in the university scene, Gadunaka, currently the reigning champion in the Newell for the UK university scene. Otter has also played in a couple of those tournaments. They've met at that level. I think I've cast one of their 2 games at that. Gadunaka has a bit of a team diff available for him on that one. But both these players are a bit closer to my backyard where I started casting.
Man, it's weird to think that, like, you know, these are the next generation of uni players. Because when I first was casting and I was doing the Newell and the uni scene stuff, it was Kerberos who was the next generation player. So,
see, sadly, I would have actually been playing at that point, but I wasn't very good. So I would have seen them on the stream and like, damn, I just missed out on the second nationals division or whatever. Like we were doing okay, but a bit of a way off that one.
I mean, that was back in Prime Curve as well, when we had Triforce Cho'Gath. I remember because I was in Portugal. It was the first time I traveled abroad for work.
Oh, gosh.
As a caster, and I was in Portugal. And I remember chatting to him, I was like, why Triforce? And he was like, it's really good into Trundle. I don't know if I fully agree, but you know what? He's a better player than me, and he lost with it versus Trundle. So, we'll see. Anyway, lane is getting shoved in here by Resolve. MNM. You know, we did kind of predict that with the Kalista you're going to get that lane prior, but so far they've not been able to, as FGG has to jump away. One more auto, and he was going to go into a pretty scary position, but the Battle Dance, exactly why it's so hard to punish this lane. Vango picked up the Corrupting Potion. He has the Ignite. Flash obviously still on cooldown for both of these mid laners.
But the thing is, though, Gadunaka literally just flashed into mid while we were hovering over bot there, too. Takes about half the HP off of Otter. He doesn't have the level up. He's level down. Doesn't have the
Vango very much in with Vango! KDA ruined for Otter.
That's it. Sitting at 54.
Oh, Vango. Well, bit of revenge.
It's sad. It is no longer the deathless Otter, the apex predator of the watery aquatic scene. Goes down, does get an assist for it, but it's a really sad state of affairs because Jace wanted to get control of the lane early, but Vango even though they were getting pushed in, didn't take that much HP in trades and just kind of got to hang around, jump past the wave, do level 3 chain trades too, and Otter slowly lost control of where the minions were, and Guernica pounced several times, came back and delivered so much pressure for their LeBlanc. Bakugo at least manages to get something back.
It's funny you say otter, Apex Predator. I don't know if I said this in stream before. I probably have because it's a cool fact. Giant otters legitimately kill alligators.
That is fantastic.
They're vicious, actually. Eragon, interesting there, but he's just going to get bullied by Kenruto pretty heavily. Yeah, basically what they do is they gang up and they drown alligators.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
It's
that's
to protect their young.
hell.
They're not psychos. They do it to protect their young. Supports are both showing up in the bot lane, in the mid lane. FGG might have to be a little bit careful here because, you know, chain's coming in off. Manga jumps in forward, gets the chains off. Otter's going to get chunked pretty heavily as the flash forward comes in. FGG going low. Can they lock him down? Now it's Otter on the menu. One more auto should just about do it. And Otter burning low. Guernica secures the kill with wind becoming lightning.
Support jungle duo. They make it to mid lane again. Otter, no flash. Down in XP and bot lane's fighting.
Jopper getting very, very low. They're coming in. They're going to hit. Oh, my Lord. Jopper runs for the kill, and Meiku is taken down.
The damage calculation from Jopper. And guess who the second highest KDA player is in the league? And honestly, by the end of this game, if you have a couple more going on to that, Jace, the top one, it is this Kalista. What happens first? FGG does do a decent job of buying as much time and space for Otter as they can. But Vango, much like in their previous games, and obviously seen on screen for most of this one, has control of where he wants the minions. He has them right outside his turret. Otter has to keep overextending. And the bot side, and we see this back to this 1v1 as well. The minions helped Meiku out a whole heck of a lot, but the W missed. It was sidestepped from. The run comes through, and it hits through.
Eragon having a pretty rough lane here right now in the top side. Is able to keep himself a CS lead over Kenruto, but has taken the flash and the teleport, so it's not the ignite one. I think he knew that this was going to be a bit of a rougher lane. And Otter's not really fighting these shot blasts, unfortunately. Vango doing a great job of keeping him away. And we've seen a couple of builds out of the LeBlancs. You have the Everfrost, you have the Ludens. I think this is probably going to be a Ludens game, although the Everfrost is always lovely just for the additional CC, and you guarantee the chain pop. But I think with the fact that you've got so much burst available, I think Ludens is probably going to be the build here.
And also, like, the one person that's going to get remotely tanky and build up magic resist is going to be back on the volley bear, which means that there's 4 targets which you can hit with the Ludens and pop them out with a full combo. Lulu, not going to be safe this game. Rakan, probably not going to be safe either. Whoever you find is going to take a heck of a lot of damage. Ludens is very much a strong option here.
Vango actually just has found Bakugo in his jungle. He's going to jump away to safety, but he was just searching around with
being a nuisance.
He used the mimic though. He's on cooldown now.
Yeah, I mean, this is what you can do as LeBlanc. Once you achieve dominance in your lane, you just disappear. We saw that with the Blitzcrank earlier, and it's just, oh wait, as soon as they're in Fog of War, that's where the alarm bells start ringing. You think, oh crap, we've got to make sure that this person isn't going to turn up into bot lane where we have the ability.
He's been thrown down by Eragon, and he misses everything. God, pretty sad that his lane isn't going to be able to set up for him as Otter just goes in for a quick trade onto Vango.
Otter gets himself to his... I mean, he had his tier on that early recall, has himself a Dirk. Really would quite like himself a Mercury Treads at some point, so he doesn't get full burst out by LeBlanc. He probably does need to go with that at some point. Sadly, I don't think this is a game where you can afford to go Ionian Boots to Lucidity if you're trying to side lane versus 2 AP high damage threats. So, Resolve. You have been caught off guard a little bit with the early game. MNM playing fast and brutal. This is why you put your prediction in for them, I presume. And for me, with my prediction result, I'm going to have to hope then Resolve are going to turn this around, be able to slow this game down to a pace that they're more comfortable with, because right now he's starting to creep into MNM's favor quite quickly.
Yeah, well, this is kind of why I favored MNM coming into this. It wasn't just a bit of a favoritism vote. It was, I think MNM, their playstyle suits the current meta. Resolve, they're very good at late game team fighting. That's going to be the thing that MNM have to be careful about. But if they can keep the pace going, they can keep the pressure in their favor, they're going to be A-okay. Now, Dragon spawning up in 8 seconds. This will be the second one for MNM if they can get their hands onto it. Neither team really has particularly great vision set up, although Resolve do have a couple of flank teleport wards. Not sure if we're going to see a flanking Lulu come out, to be completely fair.
Not.
And Meiku is now going to be on the receiving end of a little bit of love. The water spotted him out, double distortion into the knock-up, and Joppa able to make short work of him. Aragon getting zoned away here by Bakiko, who flashes forwards, and Aragon trying to jump away as the tower gets turned off, and Aragon is going so low. Sustain is big, but it's not going to be big enough. Bakiko able to secure a kill on the other side of the map. As FGG has to be a little bit careful. That is a pretty strong LeBlanc. Goes in for the sigil. Ooh, FGG, you got to be careful, friend.
Absolutely. So Resolve, they do get themselves a cross map. They realize, all right, Dragon's yours. You got yourself the bot lane dive. It's a sad situation for Maiku on the bot side of the map. At least they shut down the Gwen. And that's 5 plates top shared between the Lulu and the Volibear. Not primary targets you'd like, especially when Yoppa's getting all of them on the bot side. It looks like that Kalista is going in for another player versus the Kai'Sa.
Oh, Meiku, I think it might be end of days for you, my friend. Gad's coming in. He's able to jump away with a killer instinct of safety, and teleport is coming in. Don't think Ken Ruto is going to do too much more than come in with a light shielding, although Ken Ruto is going absolutely mad lad mode. Clocks, we have not seen too many of these hit as Joppa gets slowed down. Ken Ruto is doing some pretty significant damage. Polymorph comes in, and Joppa has to go away now.
I mean, that's definitely harking back to Season 5, Lulu, when you actually did damage. Bold coming in. It was that defensive teleport to say, look, at least I've got the wild growth. At least I've got the shield. Resolve don't lose as much as they could have done from that play, because if the Kai'Sa dies again in that play, gets denied, 3 or 4 waves in a row because they've just died, Shane died on cooldown, I think at that point you're really going to struggle because this Kai'Sa is going to be so far behind the curve.
And the big thing as well was Meiku was able to hold their tower. Now, tower was taken with plates in the top side. It was almost enough for Joppa to be able to take this bot lane turret, but plates are going to fall off now, and I don't think they're going to be able to get there in time, although Vango's coming in with the chains and the damage, and Meiku has popped. Vango doing so much work here. Chad Unica has found Otter. He's going to look to jump in. There's a 2-level disadvantage, and the acceleration gate and the shock blast is enough to send Gadonica away. Plates will be falling off before Vango will be able to take this tower, but he's not sticking around to even finish the tower off anyway. More interested in helping the team on the map.
And checking in after that last play, Vango, 4 Darksteel stacks. Got the Ludens completed. Very high burst early into the game because, let's face it, if you're one-shotting people, it doesn't matter if you don't have the extra CC from the Everfrost. Target's dead, and that's pretty hard CC by my liking. They have complete control over where they are on the map.
Clocks is, I think he's probably like 1 for 8 on these ones. As Bakiko maybe looking in, they've got the CC, they're coming in. Joppa able to flash away to safety. Great ultimate comes in as the pop-up's there. Massive crescent guard. They're getting the damage off into Bakiko, who has to ult away, but the needlework and the shutdown is picked up by Aragon. MNM just ripped through the Resolve members, and honestly, Resolve were lucky, but Vango wasn't there.
Oh, absolutely. And honestly, Resolve, the thing which I have praised them most for is poise, presence of mind, understanding where they are in the game. If you are all-inning onto a support who has the cholesterol, it's very dangerous.
Vango coming in, goes for the flash. That was disgusting. What an outplay by Vango.
Gets in, double distorts, gets the full distance, and last time there was a cleanse. Actually, the cleanse was there too, but the first tick of the ignite comes through, and the electrocute finishes them off. 0 and 4 on the Kai'Sa. Resolve's bot lane falling apart.
Vango having an absolutely killer performance on the Blanc. The ignite has paid off. 3, 1, and 2. Luden's Echo in the pocket. Vango pretty rich right now. And sitting pretty versus Resolve. And Resolve just struggling. Let's have a look at the play once again. It was just MNM. They got engaged on and they turned it.
Well, this is the thing, right? Okay, so who do Resolve choose as their first target? So we see that FGG comes in and they go into a Braum. Yeah, that's awesome and all, trying to get them low HP, because if you get the first kill, you feel happy about it, but they get out for free. And on the other side, yes, you have a wild growth. Yes, you got the Volibear ultimate for that temporary amount of HP. It's not the same as making your support go invulnerable. We see ourselves the flashy outplay. That is a clean electrocute combo.
As we come out of the replay, Vango's getting run down, although the cooldown's about to come back up for Vango, and he might be able to turn this. Pings back to safety. Vango now got his cooldowns almost back up on their ultimate. Is going to cool it off, though. Still a wild growth on Kenruto. Might be a little bit too overeager. That is a support item, Lulu, by the way, doing that much damage to a fed LeBlanc. A 0-0 Lulu with a Shirelia's trading and winning versus a 3-1-2 LeBlanc with a Luden's Echo.
This is why Baki, even in Season 5, again, like, much less damage back then, rather, Lulu was a pick of choice into the LeBlanc. I mean, it wasn't in this game. I don't think Otto was willing to pull that out against there. But, I mean, in the side lane at 2v2, when you have the Polymorph, you have such high damage on picks. Oh, he's caught.
Yeah, he's going to double distort to safety, though. It's so hard to pin the LeBlanc down, and Vango able to get away scot-free from that one. Did burn the ultimate, but it's LeBlanc. It's a short cooldown. The dragon has spawned up, and Chad Anakura is in the area to start it up. This will be an Infernal Soul if MNM can get the next two dragons. And Infernal Soul LeBlanc, who's fed. Infernal Soul Callista, Infernal Soul Gwen. That is a pretty scary concept. Resolve, though, are able to pick a tower up on the other side. This is 2-for-1 in the tower department. And MNM not really able to take this mid lane turret. They've been trying to take it for a while now, but now Meiku has to be careful. Gad's coming in with Vango in the back line, and Meiku, you just have to jump away, although Vango might be feeling it. Ignite not up, though, so I think he's going to call it. FGG has to also be careful, is able to jump away. Aragon's getting jumped onto, and the Needlework's starting to do some work, as that is a lot of damage coming out from Aragon. Wrong button, Aragon, you silly dragon. But MNM continue to chase. The wind is not going to do enough. As Bakiko able to survive. Vango will find him here, though, with the chain. Double sigil not actually fired off yet. And Bakiko caught out, knocked up, taken down, and Joppa takes the kill. Glacial Fisher is going to go a little bit wide, but Otter almost getting stacked up onto. FTG knocks up and bops straight back to safety. Gad continues to knock down at this Rift Herald.
I mean, this is what happens when you have vision priority with high burst champions. Bakiko on this Volibear isn't tanky enough to deal with Vango anymore. We saw what happened when he tried to jump on the LeBlanc. Couldn't finish them off at that point. It's not like you have the turnaround damage to deal with this mid laner. And now this mid laner certainly has enough damage to deal with you. He jumps to the skies with his ultimate and is flung back right into it with the Braum ultimate. Complete bounce house, too much CC. Doesn't matter that his teammates are rallying to him. He's just not tanky enough. There's too much damage on MNM, and they're just running over their side of the map. Look at that blue side vision, that blue team vision on the enemy side of the jungle.
Yep, it's completely free real estate for them, to be honest, at this point. Dragonum 1 minute 30, 3 minutes 20. I swear my brain is working, and Joppa, sad boy hours. Got the Rift Herald, though. So with this dragon spawning up, I believe the timers are going to be a little bit off, unfortunately, for MNM. Although, actually, I can't remember, actually. I'm not sure. Maybe not. Anyway, they're going to be able to use it at least a little bit before the dragon comes up.
Yeah, I'm actually not sure. I mean, it looks like it's got a fair amount of
I didn't actually spot when it got taken. So my timings are a little off.
I just see it ticking down in inventory. I'm like, okay, it's probably got another minute on it. They took it pretty late, and it does stay in your inventory for a while. And that gives them the ability to use it as a counterweight elsewhere. They do have themselves Gwen hitting that top lane turret anyway. I think that's probably going to fall. But potentially, this allows MNM to take a big fight, get a big pick, and then crush through into an inhibitor turret even with that Herald, because they are this far ahead, and they can threaten that dive so much. You can see what happens every time they approach a turret with a Resolve member underneath it. They pile away from that.
Bakiko looking for Joppa, but Joppa able to kite away for the moment. It's the snare's going to wear down, but Clocks is now caught out. Teleport's coming in. Resolver looking for a fight. Might be a little bit hard as the Fate's Call is going to come out, and FGG is going to get knocked up and jump back to safety. Gad sliding in. Here comes Vango. Got the double distort. In he goes. The knockup comes in. Otter is taken to the skies and taken to the grey screen.
I mean, that's just what happens when you cannot find your engage. Resolve a little too labored about it, and Meiku very, very lucky to escape that chain.
But Vango's still going to continue to try and hold some presence here They know where FGG is, but a great pink ward will spot Vango out. It looks like they're trying to contest the dragon, but FGG has to be so careful because Vango can almost burst him. Can't quite land the chain, but the electrocute damage is big, and FGG will be taken out. The tower will be sacked by MNM, but they are so more interested in taking this Baron as Maku gets flashed onto. Vango is having an absolute monster of a performance. Baron in the pocket of MNM, and Ken Ruto and Bakako are just sent back in. But Vango, he is still hunting. He is still hungry for blood.
I mean, this is the Vango show. Yes, he's used both his summoners. I don't think he cares without having the extra damage of the Kai'Sa there, who's, let's be honest, 0 and 5. There is no turnaround threat for the LeBlanc. There isn't anything, even like a Nautilus or a Leona, that can immediately stun them in place. Rakan is as good as you're going to get. And by the time that W has gotten to her location, she's pinged back, and that means Vango is out.
Oh, Vango actually looking for Bakako. Double distorts in, misses the chain as Otto locks him down, and Vango has to jump to safety. Sky Splitter just going to do a little bit of poke, but 26 seconds now until we see this dragon spawn up. It is Soul. But Vango chunked out. That's pretty good for Resolve, but he was already able to do a fair amount with low health. Just keeps distorting forward and looking to poke away. Speed up's coming in. John's getting jumped onto. Has to flash away. They jump in. They look for the lockdown. But here comes Clox. And Bakako gets a wild growth off as Vango looks to chain him down for the moment. They use the Fate Seal onto multiple members as Gadonica slides through. The damage is huge. Aragon looking for Ken Ruto. A double kill picked up for Vango. And Ken able to get away to safety. But the dragon will be secured, and Vango gets slowed, but he is not done yet. He is hungry for blood. Ken Ruto dodges away on the chains with the juking and the dive in as Aragon dashes and flashes for the ace. This beautiful play by MNM. And Resolve are scattered.
And it only gets worse from here, because what's the prize for the afters? It's the Infernal Soul. Give them everything. MNM have taken this game by storm.
Early aggression is the way to play this meta. Resolve, they've had their tax, but MNM, they're not paying. Their money is stored offshore right now, as FGG has to be super careful. Baron recalls are coming in, and MNM are going to look to spend this gold. 24 stacks on the Medjais for Vango. He's looking all the way there. Otter almost going down. Vango to ignite. Not going to complete his sticker collection in this football sticker book, but let's have a look at the fight once again.
So you can see the desperation setting in now. Yoppa manages to get away from the volley bear. Yes, they get the stun there, and there is a decent wild growth to keep them pinned in place, but Lulu's wild growth knockup doesn't do any damage. This Kalista keeps getting auto after auto, and yes, Otter finally finishes them down, but at what cost? They have traded 4 people for a chance onto that Kalista. It's just not worth it. They don't have the damage. They can't take these fights. Aragon with a spicy flash Q after.
All right, well, it's Soul now picked up for MNM. Vango with a sweeper is going to spot people out nice and safe. And look at the damage coming out from Vango. He's doing so much work. Maku has to be very careful here. Vango could honestly double distort and kill him right now.
Honestly, he could. I wouldn't be surprised. Doesn't have the flash, does have the ignite. He's checking.
Just a bit of a damage check. And Vango wants his kill. Vango wants to pick up this final page in the book. As Bakako has to be careful. Spots out Gadonica. Gad able to jump away, but now Otter's been seen by Vango. This time he's got the damage. This time the chains land, and Otter goes down. The shutdown, the book is ruined. The moment he gets it, Make's able to find the kill. They're going to get the speed up at the moment. The knockup's coming in from Clox. Clox trying to survive, but he's going to have to jump away. Double kill's been picked up by Maku. Knockup is coming down though, as here's FGG. Maku being absolutely ripped through by Aragon with the needlework. Joppa untouched for the moment. Bakako trying to find the kill, but he's not able to do it. The bear knocked up, and Joppa takes out the kill. The Void Seeker goes wide, and MNM will still trade up, but Resolve will be happy with those kills.
But the Medjai stacks! No, he gets it for about 2 seconds before the person who has suffered the most this game, this poor Kai'Sa who has been left alone under turret, dove time after time, picks up the shutdown, removes some of the pages from that veritable death note at this point. Vango does lose some of their face for that one. I'm still, I'm sure, pretty happy with how the fight came out. With the end of it, they still won it after all.
There's still a big shutdown as well onto Aragon, so there's more gold to be collected if you're the likes of Meiku. But Vango not going to be too happy with that one. You've got the shield bow, you've got the Bloodthirster, and Vango looking to get some revenge, looking to get some pages back. Has still got 15 stacks, so not entirely useless.
Yeah, absolutely not. It's still a lot of AP. Still got, of course, it counts as a legendary item, which means that you're going to get that extra 5 magic penetration from the Ludens. Very efficient in that regard. You see, he's just wandering between lanes, making sure he's off of vision and putting down his own wards. The problem is, of course, you do that to Blase, and suddenly you might have that Rakan flying through. And 2-item Kaiser was not that much damage. Even LeBlanc, when they're fed, doesn't get that tanky. The zombies help, but it's not an assured thing that they'd survive getting jumped on by too many Resolve members.
Well, that's the end of the final turret outside of the base of Resolve. They still got their 3 inhibitor turrets, but mid, as you can see on your screen right now, heavily chunked out. Make it level 13 to Aragon's level 16. He's doing a fair amount of work, and Vango's looking for revenge. That was just the Q. Nothing else hit.
Oh, I'm gonna at least take a drink of mouthwash after that one. That lives a sour taste. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
that's not fair.
Like, can you imagine what this is going to be like when a death cap comes in?
I'd rather not. Thank you for giving me that image. I will not be sleeping tonight. That is my sleep paralysis demon. Vango with a death cap.
Oh no! Double assault. He's mad.
Not
Get
again.
that page back. Vango 19 stacks gets himself a bloody easy kill, and his team secure Baron for him in the meanwhile. Elder Dragon in 1 minute time. Baron in the pocket of MNM. I think Resolve might be handed their first loss of the season.
Oh. Yeah, thanks.
Do we need to see it
Replay
again?
for making me just making sure I see that front. Is it? Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Luckily, we're
gives me
past the
motion
watershed.
sickness how quickly it's moving.
Oh, Bakiko, a lot of damage coming out. Able to survive, but the knockout comes in. He has to go in. Go, Clocks. I choose you. And that is one dead ferret able to get the kill onto FGG. Inhibitor in the mid lane will go down. And MNM looking to put an end to Resolve's unbeaten spree, as Vango is taking names right now. Kenruta has to wild growth himself, and it's a double kill for Vango. Vango now could be in for a whole lot of hurt as he's going to be going low. The book is not taken down today. Meiku going to be zoned away. MNM have done it. They have got what it takes to take out Resolve. They're not paying their taxes today. They've got a really dirty accountant. The Nexus will explode, and MNM put an end to Resolve's menace here at the UKLC.
The king is dead. Long live the king. MNM, long may they reign. All's well that ends well. We did get 25 stacks on that Magi's just before we cut away to that break. I'm sure that LeBlanc's happy with that at the end of the day.
Nexus in shambles, Otter's KDA in shambles, Vango with an absolute demonic performance on the LeBlanc. It was beautiful stuff there. And yeah, this is exactly why I was favoring them as the team that I thought were going to be able to take this game.
Rub it in.
Early aggression is the name of the game. I have spoken